Hello and welcome back. Brittany and I are so excited to dig into yet another way that students learn differently: motivation.
Motivation is the driving force behind student action and engagement, but it can be difficult because students are motivated by multiple different things, so one method may not work for all of your students.
It is often a long process to build motivation. So, what we find to be a really good first step is to really take the time to learn your students' passions and their strengths and use that while you teach them in your classroom.
In this unit, we've broken down the resources both by content area and by grade level to help really support you in your classroom. Keep in mind that all students in all classrooms are going to look different, but we do provide a couple strategies for you to try out, and we really encourage you to look at your classroom and work with your students in this piece.
Motivation equals expectation of success times value of whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you expect you can do it, that's going to increase motivation. The value of accomplishing it is going to increase motivation, but it's a time. So if either of those is zero, motivation is zero. So in terms of learning differences, how do you understand yourself as a learner and how that helps you manage your expectation of success is really important.
Well, when we look at motivation from a differences standpoint is when you see a kid who's not doing what you think they should, it's still important to figure that out. But part of it is make sure they're having the experiences that are leading to success, right? Repeated success is what creates intrinsic motivation. So if the kid will sit down and do what I say, they must be intrinsically motivated, and that's great. And if they don't, they must be extrinsically motivated, and that's bad. But of course, it's really kind of a silly thing. Everyone's extrinsically motivated by some things, but the only way you get to intrinsic motivation is to have a deep interest in the material for some reason. That's nice. But at the end of the day, you have to have some success. The only reason that we see kids and we call them intrinsically motivated, let's say it's in math, is that they've had a series of experiences where they've enjoyed it, but they've also had success, the reward of actually learning. When that happens, your brain starts to key in. So you see a textbook, you go, there's information there, right? And you'll actually be intrinsically motivated to sort of tackle that.
We've been way too deficit focused, and our kids' motivation is impacted very negatively with the deficit focus. So being strengths-based, we increase their expectation of success. I think there's another piece to looking at this in terms of motivation. Peter Senge says there are only two kinds of motivation: aspiration and desperation. And desperation won't take you the long haul. So we need to give our kids things to aspire to, hope, and in order to have hope, you have to see yourself as a competent learner. The teacher's job is to help, very largely to help manage motivation. So this interplay between this expectation that I can do this and that doing it is worthwhile. So what it's going to take me to accomplish this has to be worth the payoff.
Be a kid watcher and find those passions, because when you connect that to the struggles that kids are having, and if you can ask them to do something hard in a way that ties into their passions, you've got the motivation and you've got the hook.
Throughout this unit, we do encourage you to partner with your students so you can find out what really does motivate them. And then please share what you discover in our discussion forum.
We hope you enjoy.